In this video, we're going to be going over how to do the French knot, which is such a fun stitch to do once you get the hang of it. Okay, let's go over the French knot. So first, I have my needle. It's threaded. Whoops. And then at the end, I have my knot. So we're going to go through the canvas. And we're going to wrap. You can wrap 1, 2, or 3 times. The guides will all tell you how many times to wrap. Most of the time it's 2, so I'm going to do 2. So wrap around once, wrap around twice, put the needle close. See how tight I'm holding it? Whoops. Okay, wrap around once, wrap around twice. See how tight I'm holding it? Put the needle in very close, but not exactly the same. If you look on the back, you'll see that it's close, but not the same hole. And then pull through. The only time you really need to hold it tight is when you're wrapping until you put the needle in. So let's try it again. So going to wrap it once, wrap it twice, put it close. See, you want to make sure that you don't have any tangles at this point right here, because that's what's going to tangle your knot. Close, needles through. I'm still holding it tight. Needles in, let it go. So if you're finding, oh no, my thread is tangled, what am I doing wrong? It might be that you need to make your thread a little bit shorter. And you don't have to cut. All you have to do is take your shorter end right here and just pull it through the needle a little bit more, so you have less thread on this side to work with. See, now I only have like this much, and this is here. So pull it back close, and let's try it again. Pull it really close this time. Okay. So 1, 2, keeping it pulled tight, close to the hole, pull it through. Okay. Now I'm going to show you the difference in the different sizes. So these are all pulled twice. These are all twice. So if you just do one, which sometimes they call for that, it's just one wrap around. I'll do another one. See, they're that much smaller because there's only one wrap around. So let's wrap once, holding it tight through the hole. That one's even smaller. Okay, now let's do 3. I really like French knots for making flowers. 1, 2, 3. Dotting eyes. I like them for filling in hillsides. Once you get the hang of it, you'll be able to do it. It'll be super fun. Okay, so if you have, let's say you have one that you don't like or you need to remove it. You're going to take your little scissors. There we go. And then you're going to just pull it underneath like this, pop off the top, and then scrape out the back with your finger, and then scrape off any excess. So French knots can be pretty challenging to remove sometimes. I actually had a project where I had to remove the entire, a pretty significant chunk of French knots, and it took me a little while. But you can't really remove them on the back, because if you put them all together, if like you're doing a fill-in, it's very, very small. So I usually try to cut off the tops. All right, let's do one more. So wrap once, wrap twice, hold, go in the hole, and then pull through. There also can be a time where, say, this has happened to me, this actually happened to me last night, where, let me get a little bit farther away to show you, where your thread, these 2 pieces of thread, the end and the regular piece, can get a little bit tangled. So then sometimes, like if this piece gets a little weird or it gets a little, like it gets a kink in it or something, I usually would just cut that off because it just makes it run a little bit smoother. That can be another potential problem you're having with French knots. Okay, let's just do one more. Oh, if you're doing them next to each other, I would just go close, The other option, if you're like, oh, this is a big space, I don't want to do a ton of French knots, is to go a little bit farther away, because once you do the knot, the edges will bump up against it. So it's just a different look. If you put them like right up next to each other, it'll be very tight and the knots will kind of all run together. If you want them to be a little bit more defined, I would recommend giving that little space, because as you can see, these two knots are defined. These ones are kind of squished up against each other. So that's how you do a French knot.